Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, The Cutting Board. We do all kinds of different things here on this channel, including vlogs, Disney content, true crime, DIY, SFX makeup, food and cooking content, just all kinds of stuff. I have lots of interests and I want to share them with you. So, I have received a few emails addressing this topic we're going to talk about. Some saying they know someone, I'm not naming names, involved with the Missouri case and knows that that person lied about income and assets to get a public defender. Blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not naming names and I'm not accusing. I'm just saying what I heard. This isn't me attacking anyone like so many people like to accuse me of doing. I'm not even naming anyone in this video. I tried to approach this topic as fairly as possible. So if you think that I'm being, an attacker, you're softer than baby poop and you need to toughen up. You really do. I'm not attacking anyone. This is not an attack. This video is based on my own research and actual information that is out there for anyone to find. It's out there for anyone to find. Again, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not attacking anyone. This is an if that's what happens situation based on the emails I've received. And no, I will not be naming the individuals whom those emails came from. Just know that there were several. In this video, we are going to discuss the very real crime of lying to get a public defender, particularly in Missouri, because that's where the case that brought this all up takes place. And why might someone be denied a public defender? One reason is financial ability to pay an attorney. This is usually determined by an evaluation of income, assets, and expenses, but different jurisdictions may have different criteria. Also, the type of case it is. A public defender may only be appointed if the defendant has a possibility or will likely face jail time. But let me add, if a public defender wasn't assigned, that does not necessarily mean the defendant won't get sentenced to jail, if that makes sense. And it can also depend on available resources within that jurisdiction. In Missouri, a defendant may be considered indigent and therefore financially qualify for a public defender if their gross annual income does not exceed 150% of the federal poverty guideline. Excuse me, what is the federal poverty guideline? Like the definition, what is it? So it's an economic measure used to determine if individuals or family income levels qualify them for certain federal subsidies, programs, and benefits. It's issued by the Department of Health and Human Services annually in January, and it uses the household size and income to determine poverty level. For example, for 2024, a family of two would need to earn less than, and this is gross income, less than $20,440 to be at poverty level. So if you and your spouse make $20,441 annually gross income, great news. According to the federal government, you can afford food, shelter, and other necessities for living your life. That's according to the American federal government. But now I'm starting to go off on another topic. I don't want to go on a tangent. I don't want to do that here, but that's a very, very small amount of money. I'm just saying it's a small amount of money to be expected for two people to just live off of in a year. But again, not what this video is about, but maybe we'll touch on that in another video, but apologies. So according to publicdefender.mo.gov, there is a fee for public defenders. the law requires the public defender to seek repayment for the value and cost of representation in most cases. The amount is explained as part of the application process. Generally, the public defender will seek reimbursement for the value of representation from a fee schedule. For misdemeanors, the fee is $125. This information I'm presenting is taken from the revisor for the state of Missouri concerning Title 38, Crimes and Punishment, Peace Officers and Public Defenders. A person shall be considered eligible for representation by a public defender when the individual does not have the means at their disposal to hire an attorney. This considers all circumstances of the case, ability to make bond, if applicable, income, and the number of dependents who receive support from the individual, the defendant. The commission who established these rules for court do so to determine indigency. Upon the court finding a defendant is not indigent, the public defender will not or will no longer represent the defendant. So any person claiming indigency should file or will file an affidavit with the court that contains factual information required to determine indigency. It has to be factual. Any person who intentionally falsifies the affidavit in order to obtain a public defender is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. And a Class A misdemeanor in Missouri is punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of up to $2,000. A Class A misdemeanor is the most serious type of misdemeanor one can be charged with. The director of the program, the public defender program, and anyone serving under the director, they can institute an investigation into a person's financial status, if they are seeking public defender or if it's suspected that they're lying. And they may obtain records with when authorization is required, with that authorization from the individual seeking services, when necessary, or any other relevant information to determine eligibility for services. Falsifying documents to obtain a public defender or lying about resources is fraud. It is, in fact, fraud. It's not actually considered obstruction of justice. There's a little argument going on there, but it does interfere with the administration of justice and takes resources away from those who need them most. It does. It takes resources away. And public defenders are only for indigent individuals, and many judges require a financial affidavit to be sworn under oath. Lying on this affidavit can lead to additional criminal charges on top of what they've already been charged with. And for more information regarding obstruction of justice, as far as a public defender goes, I'm going to refer you to digitalcommons.liberty.edu, Liberty University Law Review, Volume 16, Issue 2, Article 3 by Meredith L. Baker from spring 2022. I know that's a lot of detail. It will be linked in the video's description, though. It's an interesting read, but it is very, very specific. Also, if a lawyer believes a client is being untruthful, deliberately lying, and a lot of them do watch a client's social media post, YouTube and TikTok, they can withdraw representation, and this includes public defenders. So if you are someone with a social media presence and you make the very ill-advised choice of speaking about your case online. Make sure your story is 100% consistent at all times. But this video is about lying for service. We can talk about lying on social media, about a active criminal case in a later video if you want to. We can definitely talk about that. So in short, don't lie to get a public defender. The court is likely, very likely, smarter than you and will find out. And if a public defender was already assigned to you and they withdraw, due to one's ineligibility, they may not investigate, to determine fraud, but also they might. So it's best to just keep it honest, keep it truthful. If denied a public defender, just hire an attorney. I know it's a lot, but just hire an attorney or police yourself very, very carefully, and don't rely on sycophants to give you honest feedback, because they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to kiss your butt. And that's really all I have to say on this matter at this time. Be careful out there, everyone, and I'll talk to everyone in my next video. Bye.